The story begins with a married woman named Alice, who from the outside appears to be living a settled, normal life. But on the inside, she feels deeply bored and emotionally empty. Alice's husband is a successful professional, but their relationship has been reduced to nothing more than routine. The attraction and intimacy between them have almost completely faded. Alice starts feeling that her husband not only ignores her, but that she no longer holds any meaningful place in his life. During this phase, Alice meets Felix, a mysterious photographer. Felix is confident, charming, and extremely observant. In their very first meeting, he notices Alice's body language and the restlessness hidden inside her. Alice too finds Felix different, because he doesn't see her merely as a wife or a housewoman, but treats her as an individual. Gradually, Alice and Felix start meeting more often. Under the excuse of photography, Felix pulls her into his world. Alice finds all of this exciting, because after a long time, someone is making her feel special. Slowly, she begins drifting emotionally away from her home and her husband. She starts looking for excuses to spend more time with Felix. Felix not only gives Alice attention, but also validates her suppressed desires and fantasies. Alice, who had always kept herself under control, slowly begins crossing boundaries. She starts believing that this is her true freedom. At the same time, her suspicion toward her husband's behavior grows stronger, deepening her emotional imbalance. Felix convinces Alice that she has the right to live life on her own terms. Under his influence, Alice makes certain decisions whose impact will later affect her entire life. At this point, she doesn't realize that as seductive as Felix appears, he may be just as dangerous. The relationship between Alice and Felix is no longer just about attraction, it slowly turns into obsession and control. Alice starts thinking about Felix most of the time, and grows even more emotionally distant from her husband. Her behavior changes, which her husband notices, though he is still unable to clearly understand what's going on. Felix has already figured out Alice's weaknesses. He makes her feel that he is the only one who truly understands her. Alice seems happier with him. She opens up more, sharing her personal thoughts and secrets. During this time, Felix starts taking Alice's photographs, calling it art and trust. At first, Alice finds it harmless. But this is where Felix's control truly begins to grow. The more Alice trusts Felix, the more subtly he manipulates her. He convinces her that her husband is suppressing her and taking away her freedom. Alice starts overthinking this and becomes confused about her marriage. She finds herself stuck in a phase where she can neither fully leave Felix nor return wholeheartedly to her husband. Meanwhile, Alice's husband starts receiving small hints about Felix. He questions Alice, but she doesn't give him clear answers, increasing the tension between them. Alice is now trapped between two lives. One is a stable married life, and the other is a risky, unpredictable life with Felix. Felix begins putting psychological pressure on Alice. Sometimes he acts extremely caring, and at other times completely cold, making Alice emotionally unstable. Slowly, Alice realizes that behind Felix's charm lies a possessive and controlling nature. But by now, she is already deeply involved. Alice clearly understands that getting involved with Felix was her biggest mistake. Felix becomes openly possessive. He starts monitoring Alice's movements and makes her feel guilty, telling her that if she leaves him, her life will become empty again. For the first time, Alice feels real fear and tries to create distance from Felix. She attempts to fix things with her husband, but Felix keeps intruding into her life. He reminds her that he has their private photos and conversations. Alice realizes that Felix has trapped her not just emotionally, but practically as well. Now, this is no longer about attraction. It has turned into blackmail and control. Gathering courage, Alice clearly tells Felix that she wants to end the relationship. Felix refuses to accept this and mentally pressures her. At the same time, Alice's husband comes very close to the truth. He begins to understand that Alice is in serious trouble, not just involved in an affair. The story moves toward its climax when Alice finally decides that she will not submit to Felix anymore. She tells her husband everything about Felix, his manipulations and his threats. This moment is the hardest for Alice, but it is also where she starts taking control back. When Felix realizes that Alice is no longer living in fear of him, he reacts aggressively. But this time, Alice is not alone. The situation reaches the authorities, and Felix's true face is exposed. His charming artistic mask breaks, revealing him as an obsessive and dangerous man. The film ends with Alice, who is not shown as completely innocent but definitely stronger. She has paid the price for her mistakes, but she is now free from manipulation and fear. The story ends by showing that the search for desire and freedom, if done with the wrong person, can lead to the darkest places. And with this, the story of Dark Shades of Alice comes to an end. We hope you enjoyed our explanation of Dark Shades of Alice. Thank you.